I think there's a valuable lesson in today's video. If you want to take a beautiful photograph, you've got to stand in front of something beautiful. Good morning, everybody. Please excuse my rather dishevelled looking appearance this morning because I've just hiked up Sleet Fell in the Far Eastern Lake District overlooking Ullswater in the dark and then up through the mist. But fingers crossed it was absolutely worth it, because this morning we have a beautiful cloud inversion over the lake, and we've now even got a nice orange sun that's broken above the cloud. One of those special mornings that I think we all live for in landscape photography. As you can see, I'm shooting with the M50 this morning. If you don't know, at the minute, once a week, I'm coming up into the Far Eastern Fells, and I'm shooting handheld with this little mirrorless camera. It's all about lightening the load and allowing me to get to places where I would struggle with my current level of fitness carrying my full kit, my DSLR, 3 lenses, filters, and I've got a ridiculous huge Benro tripod which weighs a ton. And I think so far this little camera's performing admirably. The autofocus is struggling a little bit at times, and I'm struggling to actually see everything through the viewfinder because there's quite a high dynamic range. But according to the histogram, we should be okay. We should be getting decent exposures. And I know from past experience that even in the shadow areas I should be able to lift some detail with this. The dynamic range should be absolutely fine for this scene, which is encouraging. As you can see, the whole summit here at Sleet Fell now has been engulfed in the low-lying cloud, and I can't really see anything at all apart from this cairn that's in front of me and the bright sun that was rising up from behind Hallin Fell a little bit earlier. A bit of a relief actually, time for a little bit of a breather, because it's been quite frenetic since I first arrived. I mean, when it's like this you've just got to shoot, and I think that's one advantage I found of shooting handheld. It's allowed me to try lots of different compositions and work the scene much more quickly than I would have been able to had I been using my tripod as usual. I think this is one of the things that I love most about landscape photography, the rewards that you get for getting up early. So I was up at 3 o'clock this morning, driving through the dark, hiking up in the dark and through the cloud, and I've never been here before, so I didn't really know what to expect. You go through all of that and sometimes it doesn't pay off. In fact, a lot of the time the hard work that you put in doesn't pay off. But it is all worth it when you get to things like this. I'm getting fleeting moments when the peak is popping out of the cloud. And what I love about this shot is you can make out that really impressive summit cairn that's on the top of Hallin Fell. But then within a couple of minutes it blows back in again and you lose it again. It's quite good fun actually. I am really enjoying myself this morning, I have to be honest. You can blame James Popsis for me shooting handheld a lot more these days, because it's been his videos that have inspired me to try this approach. And as I said earlier, I do like it because it does enable me to get into places like this far more easily, without having to carry my full kit. But I don't think I'd switch to micro 4/3. But Panasonic have offered to lend me one of their full frame mirrorless cameras, and it'd be interesting to see the difference in image quality between that with a proper lens and the little M50 that I'm using, and seeing whether you can tell the difference really. Because my theory is that you're not really going to be able to tell the difference all that much, particularly not for shots that are shared on the internet, Instagram and Facebook and that sort of thing. But when it comes to prints, that might be the limitation with that camera, or that lens, more to the point. It is almost a total whiteout up here now. I can't see anything of the surrounding hills, which is a bit of a shame, really, because every minute that we wait, the sun is getting higher and that light will be getting harsher and harsher. So the good thing about this is that with this mist, this moisture in the atmosphere, it does diffuse the light a little bit, but it will lose some of that warm quality. And when this goes, I was hoping to shoot some of the valleys and get some of the mountains peeking out of the mist with some nice golden sidelight on it, but we might be missing the opportunity to do that. But hey ho, still nice to be out. This is quite a nice little scene here. I've got some beautiful grasses in the foreground, some maybe seed heads, and then just beyond them there's this little rock that sticks out. And then beyond that we've got the cloud-filled or mist-filled valley, and then beyond that we've got the exposed summit of Fell, and then we're now getting some side light across, so we're getting some texture on the summit. Nice. I think the only difficult thing is to decide whether it's portrait or landscape. It's portrait, I think. It's really starting to clear now. It's about 6:15 and sunrise was about an hour and 45 minutes ago. But I was here at Ullswater yesterday shooting down by the lake, and it was misty then, and that hung around till almost 9 o'clock. So we might have another 3 hours of this, which would be fantastic. But of course, all the time that light is getting stronger and harsher. So we'll just have to do what we can do. To be honest with you, I didn't really know what to do with myself, so I just spent about half an hour taking some time lapses, the ones you've just seen. And I had a look at the back of the camera, and they look like the lamest time lapses that I've ever seen. It's been really difficult to time them. What happens is I set the camera up and it just sweeps in, and that's it, it just gets blank of nothing. But while I was doing that, I've been taking a few shots. If I try and talk you through every single shot that I've taken today, the video is going to be about 2 hours long. So I think now I'm just gonna sit back and wait to see what happens. As you can see, we're still surrounded by the low-hanging cloud, the mist. And it's clear skies above us, so eventually this will burn off. And it's that I want to try and capture. It's when the mist starts to disappear and we can start to see some of the surrounding peaks. I can't quite believe it, but another half an hour has now gone by and it still hasn't lifted. If anything, it's getting thicker. I don't think there's any point the two of us hanging around, so I'm going to let you go. And if I do get any shots now, I'll share them across various social media platforms. There are links in the description below. I think there's a valuable lesson in today's video. I really don't think it matters whether you shoot with a top-end full-frame camera or just a little entry-level crop sensor like the one I've been using today. I don't think it matters if you shoot on a tripod or if you shoot handheld, whether you use filters. I don't think it matters what settings you use You know, if you're worried about that, use auto. I think what matters is getting up and getting out. You know, it's the summer at the minute when we're a couple of 3 days away from the summer equinox. I had to get up at 3 o'clock this morning, but boy was that effort worth it. And for me, that's the most important thing about landscape photography. If you want to take a beautiful photograph, you've got to stand in front of something beautiful.